You say you want commitment from him. And what I'm trying to say to you is when people show you who they are, believe them. If you want to be single, then just be single. And if you want to be in a committed relationship, choose someone who's not going to cheat.
Here is today's case.
I called the police, and the police came and escorted him off my premises.
You called the police?
But he came back, and when he came back, he went to kicking my door down, like he broke my door and everything.
That's shocking.
My biggest issue is that she kicks me out a lot.
The two of you have got to stop acting on impulses. Your solution cannot be he has to leave the house every time you get upset. Because one time, the next time, the police are called, who's to say what's gonna happen?
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Barron versus Felton.
Thank you, Juan. Robyn Barron.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought your boyfriend to court today, Terrace Felton.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you say the two of you have been in a relationship for a number of years, 5 years, but you are tired of his cheating ways and instability as a partner.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll start with you, ma'am. Give me some background.
Well, I met him about 5 years ago at one of his friends' house. And like you said, we've been together for 5 years. We went through a lot of struggles, but we eventually got better jobs, and now we're doing better. It's the thing is, like, throughout the 5 years, he's been cheating on me. He can't keep a job to save his life, and he's very irresponsible. And I want to marry him. Like, I really do love him, and I just want to put all the past things that we had to the side so that I can get over it and we can move on and get married.
What do you have to say about that, Mr. Felton?
Like you said, we've been through a lot of struggles and stuff and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So, but in my opinion, it's like we go back and forth, and it's like, I may initiate it. You know, I'm not here to say, I'm not here to defend anything wrong that I've done. I know that going into like after I do something, going into the next phase of, you know, trying to get things back together, it's like we can't never let anything go. So it's like a continuous cycle. So even once I do initiate something, we can come back and talk about it and try to get things back together. But it's like a consistent argument about
things that have happened in the past?
Yeah.
So it's not really in the past, is what you're saying?
Yeah, not really. It ain't left in the past.
Well, I can tell you something. It's hard for women to forget. In a lot of instances, based on everything I've read here today. But the two of you have really had a number of issues. Why don't you give me some background on you?
Well, my biggest issue is that she kicks me out a lot. Like, when we get into it, like, that's the main thing. It's always, let's break up, get out of my house, and things of that nature. And it's insulting because, like she said, in the beginning of our struggles and stuff like that, like, you know, it was me taking care of us and looking out for us. Just like I had a issue where her and one of my friends don't get along. So we get invited to a party, and as soon as she got invited, he flipped her off, gave her the middle finger. So she come tell me about it, you know.
I do not need that visual demonstration.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So sorry.
Go ahead.
But he, like I said, he flipped off the glitch. She come and tell me about it, and I know she wants me to confront him, but like, the type of guy that I am and the type of guy that he is, it was gonna turn into something major. And like I said, he is a friend of mine. So I went and I expressed to him, like, you know, stay out of her way.
Why is he flipping your girlfriend off?
They do not like each other.
He don't like me, and I
don't like each other. She don't want me to be his friend. He don't want me to be her boyfriend. So it's like, it's always
So you wanted him to do what? Confront him?
Yeah, like before the party, me and his friend already got into it at my house because the boy pulled up to my house trying to fight me, and I let him know about it. And he was supposed to take care of it then, which he did not.
He tried to fight her?
Yes, he tried to fight me.
Yeah, but I'm saying, this is the thing, like, she's got a big thing of, like, she gonna stand up for herself. She's a stand-up guy, and she's a stand-up girl, and I mean, I love that about her, but sometimes, too, it creates problems, and it's like, I'm the wolf, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? So I know, like, if a situation gets
Well, Mr. Felton, one of your friends cannot be pulling up to your house to fight your woman.
Yeah, I know.
And you there's a line you have to draw. That's the line. Why did that happen? Why did he want to fight her?
She has a bad habit of, like, talking to people kind of rough.
You think she instigated it?
In a sense, she wasn't wrong because she was just speaking up for herself, but it's just the way she does things. Even when we get into it about certain stuff, it's like she won't just say what's wrong with it. It's always got to be like, and it's like everybody ain't gonna take lightly to certain tones, and you know, everybody's not just gonna bow down to you yelling and screaming. Some people are gonna fight back and be combative back too. Like every man ain't gonna think, well, I'm not gonna put my hands on a woman.
Nobody hears me when I'm nice.
You say that you have kicked your boyfriend out of the house at least a dozen times.
I don't know how many times I kicked him out, but the last time I kicked him out is because we went to the same person's house. We went to his house to the cookout, and like he said, the dude flipped me off, and then they got into it because I guess he did say something to him about it once they went into the house. But they came outside, and everybody was asked to leave. So we left separately because after I asked him, I said, "You gonna come with me?" He was like, "No, you go," you know. So I left, and he came back 30 minutes later just screaming, cussing, yelling, took my keys, slammed the door, and he left to go back to the party. At that time, I'm thinking he going to the party and he just gonna be there. I invited me some friends over. It got a little late. Everybody went to sleep. Hours later, he came back, unlocked the door. He's screaming, cussing everybody in my living room out. So I wake up and I'm just like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you doing all this?" He's yelling, screaming. So he told me, he was like, "If you want me to hush, anybody want some sleep, y'all gonna call the police." So that's what I did.
You called the police?
I called the police, and the police came and escorted him off my premises. But he came back, and when he came back, he went to kicking my door down, like he broke my door and everything.
Did you go back after the police escorted you off the premises? It could have been a lot worse when that call went in. The police escort you off the premises. You go back and you start trying to kick down the door? Sir?
Yes, I did.
Why are you kicking him out over a dozen times every time you get upset?
I'm wrong for that, yes, but
Because you keep taking him back, so you obviously
Yeah.
not that upset.
It's because I be mad for the moment. Like, I don't try to kick him out and say, "Go and leave forever." It's just when you come to my house, you cussing, screaming, like disrupting the peace in my house.
Don't the two of you live together?
No, we don't live together, not right now, but
you were living together during
yeah,
these
but at the same, we was living together, but I pay all the bills. So it's my house at that point. I pay all the bills.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault
Mine,
is
because
that?
I let myself pay all the bills, but I take pride in that because, like he said, before we got good jobs and I started making more money than him, he was taking care of me first. But like I said, I take pride in that. But now there's lights, water, rent, and all that need to be paid, and he doesn't contribute to none of that. So if he makes me mad, I kick him out. I do, yeah. There's a lot of back and forth with the ex, and I'm sick of that. Like, I'm so sick of that.
If he's being kicked out repeatedly, do you want him to go out and sleep on the street?
He has family, he just don't want to go there.
Like I said, I'm the black sheep of my family. They married, they're Christian people, they're Christian, like, I mean, it's just...
They married and Christian, so...
Yeah, they are, like everybody...
I can't go over there. So what's going on with the work situation now?
I'm currently employed, and like I say, I mean, I've been on my own for a long time, you know what I'm saying? And I don't come from just a real bad background. I just made a lot of bad choices coming up as a teenager and stuff, and I started moving real fast, dating real early and stuff like that, dating older women real early and stuff like that, moved out. So, I mean, I've always been having to make my own way, you know, whatever the case was, I've always done what I felt like I needed to do, and $9 an hour ain't technically add up to what I was used to doing at the time, which, like I'm saying, don't make it right. But, you know, like, she tell me, you know, I don't want to date a thug. I don't want to date this type of person. You know, I want you to get a job. I want you to be professional, whatever. And I would go for it. And, you know what I'm saying, I would get a job and I would, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like when I do that and I can't do the things that I used to do, or I can't do things the way she used to doing it, now I'm being under-eyed and undermined.
Because you weren't making enough money.
Yeah, because I won't even just say not making enough money. It's just the fact that I know in a relationship, you know, give or take, whoever's doing the most, like, that's, you know, it's never really 50-50. You know what I'm saying, in a sense, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I respect her for, like, when she got her own apartment, she started doing stuff on her own, you know what I'm saying? I was proud of her or whatever, but when I tried to move into the situation, it was never like we was doing it together. It was like, oh, I'm bringing you in on something. When it was like, in the beginning, you know, it wasn't like that. Everything that I was doing, it was like, it was for us. It was like, it wasn't no separation. I didn't just put you out when I got mad at you or something like that.
So you've been on your own since you were 14, 15 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you finish high school?
Yes, man. I went back. I finished in alternative school.
Mm-hmm. So you did?
I actually went to college for like half a semester.
A half of a semester?
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
that's
it,
something you do have some credit.
Yeah, I tried.
What was your major?
Business information systems. Because I'm an artist. I do music. So.
What kind of music do you do?
I'm a singer.
Oh, okay. You like to sing R&B?
Yes, ma'am. And I rap a little bit too. Kind of pop a little bit.
I know somebody else who sings R&B.
I think your husband or something like that. No, he's actually pretty good. Tell him I said, what's up?
This is interesting because you said that you've had at least 6 jobs since the two of you have been together. You said you were homeless earlier in your relationship, and that's when you were paying for about 85% of the
and I wouldn't necessarily say like homeless, like on the street homeless, but I mean like we didn't have our own. We were staying from different places, different people and stuff like that, and nobody let you stay nowhere for free these days, like no matter what you got going on. And that's the hardest thing to come out. That's what I was trying to get her to understand too. When you're trying to come out of a hole, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so hard because, like, nobody ain't gonna let you save your money to get no spot to move out. You gotta try to fluctuate and, keep them straight on their end and make sure that we good on our end. And then, you know what I'm saying? It turns into chaos. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's. What
do you do for a living?
I'm a correctional officer.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the two of you are just a match made in heaven, aren't you?
Right. Cops and robbers.
He made a sex tape while we were still together.
I cheated, and she found out about me cheating on her.
It eventually got leaked to social media.
Here's the issue with the two of you. Because you are so young, and I know age isn't nothing but a number, but y'all are childish. If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free, 1-877-311-2222, or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. I read in your papers you say the two of you have cheated on each other in the past. But there's one time in particular you said was particularly troublesome to you.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Your Honor, he made a sex tape while we were still together. I went through his cell phone and I seen the sex tape with another woman. It eventually got leaked to social media, and everybody was contacting me trying to see if I was okay because I was completely humiliated when I seen it. I didn't know anything about it until I seen it in his phone. But yes, the sex tape was it for me.
So who put the tape? I mean, I know you're an R&B singer and a performer, but was there a need to put a tape online?
No, it wasn't like that, Your Honor. Like I said, I cheated, and she found out about me cheating on her. So she revenge cheated with a friend of hers, you know what I mean, whatever. So when she got into a tight spot, I agreed to come back to Atlanta to try to help her get back on her feet. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we both was in a tight spot.
Here's the issue with the two of you. Because you are so young, and I know age isn't nothing but a number, but y'all are childish. Yeah. When one person does something, it's tit for tat with the two of you getting back at each other, trying to do the same thing. I can only hope, because I know this was a while back, that you have grown out of some of those childish ways since you have a child now to teach to be a better human being. What happened with the car? You said you were ditched for a car.
Yes, I had just had our baby, and at that time I was living at his mother's house, and he was dating his ex only because this is what he told me. He told me that he was only dating her because she promised after she got her income tax that she was going to buy him a car. Like, he left me and the baby at his mama's house for about 2 weeks. He didn't ever call to check on me, the baby, nothing, until they got into it, and then he wanted to come back home. And see, he always does this with the ex. There's a lot of back and forth with the ex, and I'm sick of that. Like, I am so sick of that.
I'm saying,
because I don't have no exes to go back and forth with, and he just always have to have her.
I'm saying, but you have a family to fall back on.
Family at the end of the day, like I said,
I be on my own a lot of the times, right? So when we get into it, the first thing she want to do is put me out. Of course, like, I ain't got nothing but other women I done dealt with, or other homeboys that I know in the street. Like,
you don't have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, like, I'm saying.
Actually, that is an excuse. If he doesn't have family, if he's being kicked out repeatedly, do you want him to go out and sleep on the street?
No.
Where is he supposed to go?
He has a mom. He got a sister. He just don't want to go to those places.
So you don't go.
He has family. He just don't want to go.
I don't go to those places because, like I said, I'm the black sheep of my family. They married. They're Christian people. They're Christian. Like, I mean, it's just a lot of ways that I have that they don't accept, that we bump heads, and I mean, it still ultimately end up being the same thing. I'm out back.
Those don't sound like terrible people.
Yeah, they not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna
say,
like, I'm not making an excuse for myself. I'm just saying I know that I'm not gonna say I'm not
welcome. I thought you was about to say they on meth.
No, I don't.
They out all times of night. You know they married and Christian. So
yeah, they are. Like, everybody,
I can't go over there.
They're not fond of the stuff that I do, and I know they will always welcome me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that I know it's gonna eventually end up being the same thing.
Ms. Barron, my issue is, there has to be another alternative to when the two of you have a disagreement than you repeatedly kicking him out. It's probably the worst thing you can do to someone who really hasn't had a home since he was a teenager. There are no excuses for this, because if you either want to be in the relationship or you don't. But 12, 13, 14, 15 times Just go your separate ways if that's what it's gonna be. Because one of these days, he may not come back. Well, I don't know, it has been 12. Here's what I find is happening here. And the two of you have a child together. This is dysfunctional. And I do not want your child to see this repeatedly happening in the home. Beautiful family. I don't want your child seeing this because all you're doing is normalizing this dysfunction in front of your child. You did not have a man to teach you how to treat a woman. So is this what you're going to teach your son? Or are you going to try to break the cycle?
I'm trying to break it, young.
Okay, I want you to work really hard on that, Mr. Felton, because I know you were not dealt an easy hand in life. There are certain things that I think you do in this relationship because you simply have not been taught better. No one ever taught you. But now it's not just about you, Mr. Felton. It's about somebody else. I believe that you can have a better life for yourself. You don't want to be caught up in a system that doesn't care anything about you. Because one time, the next time the police are called, who's to say what's going to happen? You don't need to dip a toe into that system, right? Yeah. So I'm asking you, not just for the sake of the relationship, for the sake of your child. The two of you have got to stop acting on impulses and being completely out of control when you're upset with each other. Your solution cannot be he has to leave the house every time you get upset. What are you going to do to build a foundation for your future? You either pay now or you pay later. So you make the sacrifices now so your later is better. Pay now. Miss Barron?
Yes, ma'am.
You got to stop with this fighting, and you got to stop with this aggression. And you have to stop encouraging him to try to fight somebody because they flipped you off. And I want you to both look over at that picture because that, above everything else, is worth fighting for. And that's real. And that's what the two of you have created together. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
Do you understand, Miss Barron? Do you understand, Mr. Felton?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I think what's happening here, the personal demons that you brought into the relationship have overshadowed the normalcy that you tried to have. We have an aftercare specialist here in divorce court that I want the two of you to have a conversation with after we leave here today. But that's how we're going to resolve this. Both of you have to take personal responsibility for what you are bringing into each other's lives. You're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to face it because it's causing problems. You're 26 years old and it's continuing to cause problems in your life because you haven't addressed it. And I don't want to see you for the rest of your life, Mr. Felton, living pillar to post. I don't want to see that. Good luck to both of you.
I feel like her verdict was very fair. It wasn't leaning on his side more or mine. I do need to work on not kicking him out every time I get mad. I'm trying to go to the other room or go outside or something. I ain't gonna kick him out no more because I don't want him to go nowhere anyway. Because she right. What if I do kick him out, he'll never come back? I'm gonna be looking stupid.
And I agree with just about everything she said. Well, really everything she said, you know. She's right. I mean, I do got a lot of personal issues and stuff that I need to deal with. So I'm gonna just try to work on that. I mean, just be there for me more. And I'm gonna try to do that for you, you know, be more understanding and patient with you, you know, because I know I'm a little more laid back, you're a little bit more fiery than I am. And just try to be more mindful about my decisions the first time around.